Good evening, everybody. This is Ulysses S. Grant coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee. Actually, I just look like Ulysses S. Grant. My name's Greg Halverson, and got the COVID beard going. Still, the COVID beard's still in play. So I was thinking about doing maybe a live beard shaving scenario situation, but we'll maybe save that for another day. It is Saturday night in Nashville, Tennessee. It is March. It's like it's March 6th, and I'm just weighing in. There's no rhyme or reason. This is my third installment of the new Greg Halverson YouTube channel. I probably have 40 videos, but this is my third like revamp. I just went dormant for a while, and then I watched Hickok 45 and some people on YouTube, and all they were doing is have conversations. And that's all I want to do is have conversation. I live in Nashville and I have opinions, and I don't really have enough people to share them with, so I'm sharing them with you. I appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. I guess that's something I need to ask that up front. I don't have a big platform. The only way I can get subscriptions is to ask you to subscribe. So please subscribe to the channel. And it's interesting. This is my third installment, and the one I put up a few days ago was mostly I spoke about the cleaning up a creek about quarter mile yonder. I've been cleaning up a creek and just dragging mass garbage out of it, bags of garbage. I filled a huge bin full of plastic. And yesterday, I went up and cleaned, added a vacuum cleaner hose. It was like 40 feet long, rubber, right by the creek. Dragged two tires out of the creek. On the bank of the creek. There's one tire in the middle of the creek I can't get to, and I added another 40-pound. Went over there with a empty plastic garbage can liner, and filled it up just to the max. It was the biggest black garbage can liner plastic bag that you can buy in the store. Filled that up, and that's next to the big bin. If you go back to the last video, I have a picture of it and a link to it on my Halverson page. That's my Facebook page, Halverson. Just my last name's Halvorson. I put a G on the end of the name. That's my Facebook page, and along with Greg Halverson blog Facebook page. And I'm also on Substack. I have Greg Halverson blog on Substack, and I'll put all my links there in the description and in the comments section. But I put that up, and lefties caught wind of it apparently, or they monitor my Facebook page or whatever. And you think the left would be appreciative of a guy cleaning up a creek. Obviously they didn't read the response or read. They didn't listen into the video. They just saw me. No, I'm a conservative, and we're probably like triggered by the American flag. Oh, he's a white supremacist because he has the American flag on his wall. And don't tread on me. Ooh, that's a big trigger for Mr. Feminine Studies major. So they just give it a thumbs down on YouTube. So if you go to the videos and give them a thumbs up and give this a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it, because they're just canceling. It's like cancel culture. So yeah, they despicable. Thumbs down to a guy cleaning up a creek. Oh, what a horrible human being. Anyway, so I just scattershot, just talking about whatever, and just getting some things off my chest. The latest installment is I called my senators yesterday and recorded it I actually recorded the calls to my senators. And I have good senators. I have Marshall Blackburn and Bill Hagerty here in Tennessee, who actually replaced horrible rhinos, Bob Corker and Lamar Alexander. I'll put my Border Patrol hat on. Might as well, eh? So they replaced Bob Corker and Lamar Alexander here in Tennessee, and now I have two. Those are actually doesn't happen very often, but we have two conservative, pretty solid conservatives here in Tennessee now. But I recorded a phone call to them, and I'll put that on my Greg Halverson Substack blog, and which I also linked those on my Facebook pages, and about the militarization of the U.S. Capitol. The big follow up to the insurrection in the Capitol, when no one was armed, no one had a firearm, it was completely not an insurrection, not even close. They just hijacked the language. But the big warning by the FBI, the leftists up in the higher echelons of the FBI and the Department of Defense, and the leftists running the Capitol Police, not the rank and file, the leftists who run the show, unfortunately. They're like, oh, there's like the QAnons coming on March 4th because that was the original inauguration day, in 17 or 1823 or something, and so that there was a imminent threat to the Capitol on March 4th. March 4th comes by, nothing, absolutely nothing, total lie, total fabrication. Meanwhile, we still have like 10,000 troops guarding the U.S. Capitol. If you want to go in and visit the Capitol, can't do it. As a U.S. citizen of we the people, they answer to us, right? Or they used to. Can't do it. Can't go in the Capitol. Walled off, fenced off, razor wired off, and guarded by 10,000 abused troops who are being completely used and manipulated in a way so disgraceful that it's really hard to imagine. And they're supposed to be there months on end. So, and then this General Honoré guy who is a leftist, sociopathic leftist, basically a communist, Marxist, whatever you want to call him, a complete disgrace. He's the one who Nancy Pelosi tapped to do the review of the Capitol threat. And he, of course, is recommending, the Capitol be walled off in perpetuity, permanent fencing and razor wire, It's an insane disgrace. So I called my senators and recorded the phone call. Got a little not chippy, but intense with the first caller, or the first person, Blackburn's intern, who answered the phone. There's still like 19-year-olds and doesn't have a clue what I'm even talking about, barely, which is frustrating. And of course, when I'm talking about it, I'm passionate about just like what the level of disgrace that we're seeing is unprecedented in American history. So, I mean, you guys call Dem or Republican, call your congressman and just raise hell, and just give him hell, because this is a serious breach of normalcy, of democracy, of the American Republic. This is legitimately a police state. Sometimes a police state. It's like, this is literally a police state. It's commi. Is it posse comitatus? They're using the military as police in violation of multiple constitutional protections. It's 100% tyranny. It's unlawful, and it's a total disgrace. And I'm not even, and this isn't even like a political hour for me. I mean, I'm just weighing in, but that bothered me, and it really does bother me. That really has to end. And I'm supposed to also ask. I forgot. Please subscribe to my channel. I'd like to grow it. And to be honest, quite honest with you, I'd like to monetize it if I could. I'm way far away. I only have 161 subscribers, so I'm a long way from even making $25 a week or something. But if you could subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And if you comment and weigh in and give me suggestions, I answer all comments. I believe that if you take the time to comment on my content, then I should respond to you. So And if you have, whoops, goes blank after about 10 minutes. We're 10 minutes exactly. So I mean, if you have like 100,000 subscribers and 25,000 comments, obviously you can't get to every one of those, but on the ground floor here, until I become super famous, I will answer all comments and field suggestions that you may have. So anything else? What's going on? So that bothers me. Call your senators. They passed the $2 trillion, $1.9 trillion economic disaster package today. They passed it on something called reconciliation. If you're not familiar with it, the Senate requires 50 votes to pass a bill, right? But if they use reconciliation, which has to be related to a budgetary item, so apparently this is budgetary, just $2 trillion in 9% goes to COVID relief checks. 9%. The left is 90. That leaves what's 100 minus 9? 91% of the bill is leftist claptrap. It's a bailout of the destroyed blue states that locked down their economies, and they're just showering money on New York and California and Illinois and Oregon and Washington, and you're paying for it. You are paying for it. It's theft. It's plunder on a scale we've never seen before in this country. It's $1.9 trillion. It's going to spark inflation. It is 100% unnecessary, unproductive spending. It's a slush fund for leftist dreams come true. It's actually Newt. I alluded to this, or I spoke about this last video. Newt Gingrich says this is the most radical. This is in this package. It's more radical than anything Obama accomplished in 8 years, and they did it today. The first 6-7 weeks of the Biden presidency is doing more damage to the country than Obama did, despite Obamacare. Obamacare is a disaster. If you take away Obamacare, Biden has destroyed the country more in 7 weeks than Obama did in 8 years. I mean, what we're going to look like a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. It's really hard to even wrap your head around it because the border is wide open. The obligation, the role of the executive of the President of the United States is to enforce, literally, his job description is to enforce the laws of the United States of America. Biden is not enforcing any immigration laws. He's making up law by not enforcing law. It's 100% unconstitutional what he's doing on the border, telling ICE to stand down, to not enforce federal laws, letting criminal aliens go freely in our country. COVID, people that they know are positive for COVID, let freely into the interior of our country, encouraging more to come. And they're obviously doing this to destroy the country. I mean, there's my mom, bless her heart, lives in Oregon, and she just can't grasp why they have to live in this country too. She says she doesn't understand the level of evil that we're dealing with, the depravity, the lust for power the left has, and they don't care. They would bring the entire country of Haiti, one of the poorest countries on earth. El Salvador is not, freaking Qatar, but they would bring as many people as they can get, as long as they're going to vote Democrat. They don't care if they're lecherous. They don't care if they're perverts. They don't care if they're pedophiles. They don't care. If they vote Democrat, you're in. Murderers, thieves, rapists, it doesn't matter. That's what we're dealing with, and that literally is the definition of the Democrat Party. So this is like 100% political now. I was going to try to do a little balance, but this is topics that we're fielding and having to deal with, and so I thought we'd talk about it. This thing they passed today is a calamity. It's an economic calamity. So they're destroying us fiscally. They're destroying us on the illegal immigration, and we're just going to have to hang tough. All I can say is buy a gun, because that's next. They got this thing. Once Biden signs this disastrous bill, they're going to start going after guns. It's like checking the boxes. Immigration, it's on. It's a disaster. Fiscal calamity, blowing the budget. $1.9 trillion is literally 50%. No, almost 50% of the federal budget, just shy of 50% of the federal budget. So in an instant, they just increased the size of the federal budget 100% with leftist spending. It's 100% leftist spending that advances socialism and Marxism and tyranny in this country, and it's increases it's 50% of the U.S. budget, boom, like that. It's, dude, seen the gas prices, seen milk prices going up, guys. We're all gonna get poorer because of this, and that's what they want. They want us to be poor. They want you to poor and independent of the government. It's a tragedy, but you can't sit there and be depressed about it. You just gotta carry your truth and keep fighting, really, for liberty and justice, and refusing to shut up. That's extremely important. Refusing to shut up. So yeah, my name is Greg Halverson. If you please subscribe again, and I guess I'm going to try to keep these bad boys about 17 minutes, 20 minutes to a half hour is good little. It's obviously some substantive content if you're hitting it that hard. First, I was like, no one's going to watch 5 minutes, more than 5 minutes. But if you give them if you semi-entertaining, giving them some substantive things to think about and engage with, then content's solid, and that's all that matters. It's not really time. But I'm almost at 20 minutes, and I was going to talk about. Today was a gorgeous day in Tennessee. We're getting into spring, and there's been no heavy weather lately, and a little rain. It's been raining. I love the weather in Tennessee. I moved here from Oregon, which is it can be really dark and gloomy and just real damp there for like 4 or 5 months. It can be grim. Obviously, the summers in Oregon are divine. I mean, Oregon, the West Coast, is the best place to be in the world for 3 months. Maybe June, July, August, or for certainly July, August, part of September, 2 months. It's just paradise, God's country, and throughout the West, the Northwest anyway, it's like that, just beautiful. And here in the South, in the summertime is just like, it's like it's a flip side. But the shoulder seasons here, the fall and the spring are lovely and great. The winter, it gets cold, but it doesn't snow too much. I like the winters here as well. Winter sucks everywhere except maybe Florida. So anyway, but just 2 days ago was like the 1 year anniversary, or 3 days ago was the 1 year anniversary of the tornado here, and it was unbelievable. I was right here in this apartment, and it came through, man. It came through like a damn freight train, and I was monitoring, online, because there was heavy weather, and there's Nashville severe weather on Twitter. On my TweetDeck feed on my computer, and they were saying they were like monitoring. They were confirming touchdown tornadoes. Nolensville, get down, get to your safe space. When they tell you to get to your safe space, You got to get to your safe space. Get off the computer. You need to get to a safe space. And when they say that, you start getting scared, man. It's scary by yourself. If you don't have a house, I live in an apartment, a 2-level apartment, brick, solidly built, constructed. But dude, when you hit an F3 or F4, it's over. And I'm on the 2nd level, so normally I'd go in the bathtub, but I got to thinking, and I was reviewing, what to do if you're in an apartment situation. And so the best thing to do, I was ascertaining that was to go in the interior, get in the interior of the apartment. So there's 2 levels of apartments on each side. There's a hallway down the middle. So I got a coat on, my shoes, a pillow. I don't have a helmet here, or I would have put a helmet on for sure. I don't have a bike here, so I don't have a bike helmet. My bike helmet's in Oregon. But so I went in the interior. I had my computer in a backpack. There was the $1,500 computer. Might as well try to save that. And that was just about it. And I was waiting. In retrospect, because if the tornado hits, the outer walls are going to be torn off first, right? If you go around the and see the damage, you'll see the upper levels are ripped off first. That must be the most powerful part of the tornado, a little less right near the ground. So just in the little less stable up top as opposed to near the foundation. So the upper levels just get ripped apart. And it's the outer levels that go first. I didn't want to be sucked out by the window. So I went in the interior, and man, I should have gone on the 1st level. I don't like, you have to choose in these situations between one falling through the floor when it collapses, and then there is a ceiling above you. You could get fall through the floor and then get smashed through the ceiling, or being on the bottom floor and just get buried with the entire structure. It's kind of a lose-lose situation. I think in retrospect, I would go down in the middle hallway on the ground floor, but I went in the middle hallway on the upper floor, and it came through like, oh baby, man! It came through. Trees were ripped apart all around here. Big trees fell down, huge trunks, but it was still straight line here and not rotating. But about 3 miles as a crow flies from here is East Nashville, and that people died there, and that's where the F3, F4, it was almost an F4, 170 miles for sustained winds, rotating, and I went there the next day, not knowing, it came through here. I thought this was it, intense, but nothing too crazy. I went over to East Nashville the next morning. You drove over there about 10 minutes. And it was insane. I was blown away. Every phone pulled down. Houses exploded, obliterated. We're talking about 50, 100 structures completely destroyed. Metal phone pole, stop sign on the hard metal with the stop sign. You couldn't bend it if you tried. These were quartered at 90 degree angles. It was incredible. And the amount of debris, it looked like, a forest. The trees were gone, and there was so much debris. It was hard to wrap your head around what you were seeing. It was so intense. A 100-year-old church got just destroyed. Pianos on top of in trees, on roofs. It's like, it was so crazy, devastating. So these things are very intense, and hopefully we won't have a lot of them this spring. And I just thought I'd relate that story. It was truly harrowing. Roughly a year ago today. So glad to be alive. Glad I survived it, and grateful for all my blessings. One thing I can recommend without showing you what that was is to buy guns. Buy guns, guys. You're just going circling back like Jen Psaki. Buy guns. Protect your freedom. Keep speaking the truth. Influence the people around you. You can only, you can't save the world, necessarily, but you can change the world a little bit at a time with your sphere of influence. So influence people, talk to the youngsters, uh, and monitor. The left wants to destroy their minds too, and they're being quite successful at it. So keep speaking out, keep fighting for freedom. Give me a follow and a subscribe, and I appreciate you listening. God bless you guys. This thing's starting to tweak out a little bit. My screen starts dying after a while. It's an Apple, a 2-year-old Apple. Thanks a lot, guys. Made in China, probably. But again, I appreciate you following me. My name is Greg Halverson. God bless you, and have a great Sunday. And we'll tee one up at these midweek. All right, guys. Oh, and by the way, cheers. Cheers to you as well. All right, I'm gonna go watch YouTube gun videos. Bye.